welcome to Leo season. Thanks for tuning in to the Embodied Astrology podcast. My name is Renee Sills. I'm a consulting astrologer and an embodiment educator. And I am taking some much needed time off this summer. So these horoscopes were recorded way back in Gemini season. Please let me know how they land for you in the comments. And just know that I do read my comments, and I'm always so grateful to hear how the current influences are affecting everyone differently. Astrology is vast and sun sign horoscopes are general, so remember that not everything will resonate for everyone and to take what works and leave the rest. I also want to remind you that horoscope astrology is most accurate for your rising sign. But, pro tip, there are 30 degrees in every sign, and if your rising degree is later than 25, I would recommend also listening or reading to the horoscopes for the signs that follow yours. If you have a different rising and sun sign, listen for your sun sign for information on your general energy. And you can also listen to your moon and Venus placements for more insight into the current state of your relationships. If you enjoy my readings, make sure to check out your 2025 year ahead expanded horoscope. Those readings are discounted by 25% now, but still have so much information that is very relevant to this year and to this season. You can find them linked in the show notes below. I also want to invite you to join me with my friend, colleague, and collaborator, Ramon Parrish, on the Leo New Moon, July 24th, for a special online event we're hosting based on Ramon's recently published book, Drama of the Planets. We'll learn about Ramon's process as an intuitive poet and practice tuning in with our natal charts, celestial muses, and planetary allies for inspiration in our own artistry and poetry. If you want to work with me personally, you can find me on Mondays in Somatic Space, a weekly online class where we practice embodying current astrology through gentle exploratory movement, meditation, and visualization. If this work benefits you and you want to help me keep giving these monthly readings for free, please consider signing up for a recurring monthly donation. If every one of our listeners gave $1 a month, we would cover all of our operating expenses and have funds freed up to offer you even more. Other great ways to support this work are to follow, subscribe, like, comment, sign up for our free newsletter, and send this work to your friends and networks. Links for everything are in the show notes, and you can also find everything I just talked about at embodiedastrology.com. All right, everybody, welcome to Leo season. Meow. Your horoscopes are coming up next. Hello, Aries. Welcome to Leo season. We are here. It's a fire sign season. Hallelujah. It's good news for you. Except Mercury is retrograde, of course. There's always something going on. Mercury stationed retrograde a couple of days before Leo season began, around the 18th of July. We enter into Leo season on the 22nd, and there is a new moon coming up on the 24th. This new moon is in direct conversation in a trine aspect with Saturn and Neptune, and they are both in your sign, and they have also both stationed retrograde also. So Mercury stationed retrograde at the end of August, Saturn and Neptune, I said end of August, I meant July. Saturn and Neptune both stationed retrograde a couple of weeks before. So big retrograde energy as we move into Leo. Retrograde periods of time are nothing to be nervous about. They are times that need us to be taking our RE vitamins. Our RE prefixes are medicinal for all retrograde seasons. So please, my friends, don't worry about how quickly you are moving forward. Be more concerned about how much you can rest. Think about what you need to remain with or maybe return to or remember. This is a great time for revising, rethinking, renegotiating. And it's also a time that could potentially be very replenishing and rejuvenating. And some of you need to reclaim something. And so there's a lot that's happening in the fire element. Again, a lot of retrograde in the fire signs, and reclamation is a vibe right now. And I feel like this is a very strong vibe. And this is very much about getting your fire back, you know? It's like feed the fire. You got to feed the fire of your life in this fire season with all of this retrograde energy. So where should we begin? I could just tell you rest all of Leo season, and I feel like that would be good enough. For Aries, Leo rules your solar 5th house. This is a house that has a lot to do with playfulness, with creativity, with inspiration. And I'm going to say your life energy in its essence is important in your 5th house. And so the 5th house is where we understand what just makes you happy as a person, what brings you joy, what brings you life, and also how you most authentically want to express yourself and share what is true about you with the world. This is a place that your creative energy does come into form and manifestation and expression. And so this is a place of art. This is a place where you are part of your creation as a human being. You are inherently creative all the time. This is a place where you are also engaged with creative projects and practices. And for some of you, this is also a place that has a lot to do with parenting, because that is probably one of the most creative jobs that anybody has on planet Earth. And you are also parenting yourself your whole life. So your inner child is an important theme here as well. Now, because of all the retrogrades and because Saturn and Neptune have recently come into Aries, now they're both going to be moving out and into Pisces, back into Pisces over the next couple of months. I do want to say that I feel like a lot of Aries and fire sign in general, Leo season is really calling for quietness and reflection on what it feels like is trying to change and come through, but also how what is trying to change and come through isn't totally ready yet. And what is not ready includes a number of things. And so for Aries, I think that many of you are really trying to realize new possibilities for yourselves, shift the way that you orient to your own identity, and take up like a different kind of space in your beingness. I think a lot of you are looking for your own courageousness. You are trying to get back into contact with your sense of creativity. You are seeking to reconnect with your real authenticity, right? This word that's such a buzzword, like what does it mean to be authentic? You're different, than anybody else that has ever lived, even if there might be a whole lot of similarities. Who you are as a unique being needs some attention right now. And some of you, because you're Aries, are in a rush and you're impatient about it, and it's like you want to be there already. But this season is asking you to slow down. And there are some deeply personal, and I would imagine also fairly emotional and psychic and spiritual and energetic considerations and contemplations that need your attention right now. And so the outward expression and the manifesting and the doing kinds of things that some of you were fantasizing about very recently, or even as we get into Leo season, that you're like, I wish I was there. It's just not ready. And the other reasons that things aren't ready right now have to do with what's much bigger than you. And it has to do with the state of the world and the general readiness of the environment around you. And we are living through times of immense loss, immense change, a lot of psychological, and energetic crisis. And some of you may be really feeling this personally, or you're feeling it in the field and you're feeling it relationally. And it feels to me like you need to come back in Leo season. Which in a lot of ways is counterintuitive to the fire signs in fire seasons, because these are seasons that want to bring you out and into your expression. But this year, Leo season is saying, Aries, cool it, slow down, connect with what is nourishing, supportive, and life-giving to you. Allow yourself ample time for rest. If and when you can get it, let go of trying to do anything at all. Now, there is an important event that's happening on July 31st. This is a Cazimi event. This is when Mercury comes into alignment with the sun in its retrograde. Mercury is at its closest to the Earth at this point, and it becomes fully obscured by the glow of the sun. And this is also a transition from Mercury as an evening star into Mercury as a morning star. And the kind of general vibe and energy of this time is an energy of letting go of what we thought we knew and opening up to new kinds of consciousness and allowing ourselves to be moved. I think especially for you right now, Aries, like really paying attention to what moves you energetically and what feels compelling, more so than what you think you're trying to do. And so please, especially in the last week and a half or so of July, from the beginning of Leo season on the 22nd until the end of the month, if you can give yourself lots of permission to not do, right? Like cancel your plans, be quiet, lay low, give yourself a lot of time intending. Some of you are you just have a lot of feelings. Some of you may really need to be tending to parts of you that are hurt, and these could be old ancient hurts. They could be hurts that you're carrying around for ancient ancestors, as well as your own pain. And, pain and hurt are also the source of many of our greatest gifts and teachings, eventually, right? And so when pain and hurt can be metabolized, when we can hold them and tend them and care for them, then they often actually have so much to give. And I feel that a lot of you you're really sensitive right now, and you're sensing the environment around you. And some of you may have particular kinds of personal tenderness around your home, your family, your inner child, or like this kind of, it's such a tender and heartbreaking experience to just be alive on planet Earth all the time, right? And especially in times when a lot of people are feeling heartbreak and loss. And so I think that many of you just need to give yourself space and time to feel. And I hope that you cannot push yourself, okay? Throughout Leo season, as much as you can, don't push yourself. Now, as we move into the month of August, your ruling planet Mars moves into your opposite sign, Libra. And Mars will be here for a while. Mars generally takes about 6 weeks to move through a sign. And as it comes into Libra, it immediately opposes Neptune and Saturn in Aries. And there is this big kind of question that I feel in your chart right now in the space between you and others. And in the context and concepts and confines of relationships and partnership and commitments and agreements and contracts that you're making with anybody, but especially with anyone who you intend to be involved with in any kind of way that's at all deep or that has any longevity to it. There's like energy that is here. And I feel that a lot of you have a lot to give right now to your relationships and your partnerships. A lot of you have a lot of fresh, new energy that you want to be bringing into relationships. You want to try to do things new in different ways. You might feel yourself growing, expanding, and needing to experience things new and differently as well. But there's also this sense of you are changing right now, and there are ways that you have been that you no longer are or want to be, but you're also not quite integrated in the new ways that you are right now. And over the course of the next several months, I'm going to say through the end of the year, Aries has to do some significant letting go in order to be able to step fully into these new ways of being with yourself and with others. And so some of you have very specific relationships where things are happening and you're like, the relational landscape is changing and you need to change. But I'm going to say that in general, Aries, you are changing who you are in this moment. And that means that all of your relationships have to change in some ways. And so if you notice as we move into the month of August that you're feeling activated, and this, I think a lot of you are feeling activated in a really good way. Okay. So I don't want you to hear that word and immediately associate to like negative activation or reactivity. I think a lot of you are feeling really motivated right now to make changes, to grow, to pay attention to who and what's most important to you so that you can be your best, right? Because Aries, even though you're a fire sign, even though a lot of your energy is about differentiation and independence, your sign knows very deeply how important relationships are. And your sign is actually such a committed sign, especially when you can be yourself in your relationships. Like if you can love and be loved by people who love and love you for who you are and like give you support to be who you are, that's actually where your most solid, stable, beautiful commitment comes through. And so I do feel that there's a lot that's happening as we move into August and get into the second half of Leo season that just feels so energizing to the realms of your relationships and to the ways that you are building home, family, community, and friendship. And so how do you want to be investing in the connections and interconnections that give you life? Right? And like nobody can do anything alone. We can't even breathe alone. takes two people to make one person, and it takes an actual village for one person to do anything. So how do you want to be connecting with your interconnections right now? Feels like a very powerful place for you to be focusing on and investing your awareness and your attention. And I would highly suggest that the best ways for you to be connecting with people are through playful kinds of energies. Playful, collaborative, curious, spontaneous kinds of energies. Some of you have a lot of energy for homemaking and family building or world making right now. And a lot of you are feeling nostalgic and tender and sentimental, and like bonds are really important. And I want to say that your bonds get strengthened by playfulness. Like people trust each other more when they can laugh together, right? And so when you can have fun with somebody, when you can be curious about them, when you can help draw them out, when you can learn new things about people and share new things about yourself, this is so nourishing and fortifying to your relationships. And it will get you further in the growth that you are wanting than being serious about it. So sometimes people get really serious about their relationships and they're like, well, what are we doing and where are we going and what's the name for the container, you know, that our relationship is, and are you going to give me a piece of jewelry to make that real? You don't need that right now. Actually, what you need is presence. You need attention. You need play. You need to feel like you are engaged and you want others to be engaged with you. And so the more that you can share and spread your energy in ways that can support and assist that, the more you're going to feel that coming back in. Ultimately, I want to say that Aries, this feels like a really exciting season for you. And if I was going to just break it up into 2 chapters and give you advice for each chapters, I'd say that the first half of Leo season, basically from the 22nd of July until about like through the first couple of days of August, you need rest. You really need deep rest. Let your mind relax. And it's going to be in spaces of rest, relaxation, and release that you are most creatively inspired and engaged, and that you actually receive the biggest guidance. This is a period of time to get things done by not doing. Okay, like try and relax control, relax effort, really try to go with the flow as much as you possibly can. And any kind of attention that you can give to the spirit of your inner child or to the part of you that is just innately, essentially playful and curious, do that. Then the last half of Leo season, basically from the first week of August until the Virgo new moon, first day of Virgo season on August 22nd. This is a period of time that feels really conducive to certain kinds of social engagement. And here, I'm not really feeling that you all want to be enormous in your energy. Even if you have a lot of people around, which some of you might, especially around the Aquarius new moon on August 9th. But your focus right now is on the spaces of intimacy and how much you can actually show up with your heart and with your presence, with yourself and with others. And I feel that building and strengthening bonds in relationships feels so important to you right now, and it is so supported. But how it is supported is through generosity of attention and also through curiosity, playfulness, not taking things too seriously, and really coming to any kind of interaction or engagement, whether that's you with you or you with others, with an attitude of, let's see, let's find out. So letting go of your expectations, your assumptions, your conditionalities, and really just being open and available to what wants to happen, what wants to emerge, and maybe even intentionally trying to be in that space. And so you might play games or do things that are intentionally creative or try something new, or I don't know, if you have people in your life who you've loved for a long time, there's card games or something, prompts that you can get where it's just about asking each other questions or things like that. This could be a very powerful time to increase intimacy and build bonds through presence. Okay, Aries, I want to wrap up your horoscope with just a very basic embodied meditation and practice. And this is a practice that you've probably done somewhere, somehow. I hope you have. It's a practice that could seem corny, but it is actually so powerful and so helpful. And it's definitely a practice that you can change, adapt, and modify any way that you want. So I want to suggest that you find a way to hold yourself somehow. And you can do a secret hold. So sometimes I do a secret hold, I'll hold one of my fingers. Or you can hold your hands together. If you're up for it and it feels good, I would say give yourself a full-on bear hug by taking one hand all the way around your chest and wrapping it as far as you can under your armpit, to the back of your shoulder, and then taking the other arm and wrapping it around the top of that first shoulder, and then squeezing yourself a little bit. And I don't want you to feel any kind of discomfort in this. So if there is any, then lighten up or do something else. But however you might be bringing contact to yourself right now, be clear with the contact. So hug in or squeeze or press, and try to really feel the different parts of you that are engaged. So if you're holding your hands, feel each hand and the space between them. If you're hugging your whole body, can you feel from your arms and your body at the same time? And then Aries, I want to invite you to imagine yourself as a baby or a young child. And as you imagine yourself as a baby or a young child, can you sense and observe how babies and children come into this world with themselves already, with their own energies, with their own gifts, their own spirits. And their first job is to be receptive. Our first job as human beings is to receive. We receive our life, we receive food, we receive care. And if we are unable to receive, then we are unable to do anything. We cannot thrive, we cannot flourish at all. And so even those of us who have experienced and survived through situations of neglect have been able to receive something. If we've been able to survive, we've been able to receive. And what I want to invite for you in this moment is encouragement for yourself to receive and to receive what you need. And in particular, to receive what's good. To receive encouragement, to feel your own joy, your own delight. Encouragement to feel and sense your own playfulness, your own inspiration. And just notice how it feels to give yourself this message and these invitations. And notice if it feels like it's something that you've really needed. And when you're done, give yourself one last little pulse of a squeeze and then let it go. And if that felt good to you in any way, Aries, I hope you do it a lot and a lot more and in a lot of ways, all through Leo season and beyond. And in any way that you can, honor your inner child, your sense of playfulness, the inherent creativity that has always been with you and in you, and the gift that it is to your life when you are able to receive so that you can give. Aries, I'm wishing you all the best in Leo season and beyond. Bye for now.